Hey everybody, welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Lauren Neidigh. We had a bunch of stuff come up yesterday in the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni case. I want to go over one of these things in particular really quickly because everybody seems to be really focused on that right now. I'm going to go over it really quickly and then we'll be talking about it more in depth this afternoon with Donna Bowling around probably 5:15 Eastern. But I do want to throw this out there and just talk about it really quickly this morning because I feel like people are sort of blowing it out of proportion. Same cast of characters, really. People who will harp on everything and try to twist it to sound bad when it's honestly just standard stuff. And if you were with us last night, then I did talk about this with Omar already. And so I'm just going to kind of relate to you a little bit about what I said last night. So this is an email from Katie Case, who is one of the former employees of the agency group, Melissa Nathan's PR agency, and this was in August. She's sending this message to Jamie Heath and Jen Abel, which is kind of like a pitch for what kind of PR services they can provide to them. Some important context here that I feel a fair few people are leaving out is that Wayfarer had multiple options presented to them, and they ultimately chose not to go with the more aggressive option for their crisis PR. We already know this, it's already been shown, but since we've never seen this email before, people are now starting to take this out of context and say it's some sort of proof of a smear campaign. So first of all, like I said, this is a pitch from a PR firm trying to advertise what they can do for the client. And second, even if this were something that they decided to go with, which, like I said earlier, it is not. This is not a smear campaign. This is standard PR, and it's certainly not retaliatory. The team will focus on the social and digital elements, boosting SEO efforts, and updating with new content to enforce SEO efforts, monitoring and directly influencing forums that are working against Justin and Wayfarer to adjust the narrative in real time, and collate assets and background to work in conjunction with Jen and her team, as well as tag PR. The integral part here is to execute all without fingerprints. So this is what a lot of people are getting hung up on, the without fingerprints thing, right? That doesn't mean it's an untraceable smear campaign. Nothing is really untraceable these days. But when you're executing PR services for your clients, you're not going to want your fingerprints all over it. That's just stupid. So for example, think about how somebody leaked Blake Lively's, outfit for her deposition to these outlets, last week or whatever, or 2 weeks ago. That was done without fingerprints. We don't know who did it. There's any number of people who could have done it, including, as they pointed out, the catering staff that she hired to be there. So anyone could have done that. There's no fingerprints. You can't trace this back to the source. We don't know who leaked that to TMZ or whoever else. If you're trying to combat certain narratives that are going around about your clients on Reddit or TikTok, you want to do that without fingerprints. You don't want people to know, oh, it's his PR people who are behind this. It would be stupid as hell if his PR people just came out and did that themselves out in the open. You don't want your fingerprints all over that. It needs to either be or seem organic. And I believe that both sides are doing some of this. It's crisis PR. It's not illegal. It has nothing to do with retaliation for sexual harassment that didn't happen. And ultimately, like I said, they did not opt to use all these services. But here are some of the specific efforts. They were talking about monitor and report forums, sites, whatever, that are working against Wayfarer Studios, Justin, and the overall narrative, as well as derogatory comments. Leverage relationships with Discord, Reddit, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. to expose behavior of Blake and other parties, both current and past, and engage directly with communities to adjust or influence the conversations taking place in real time. Listen, she did that shit. I don't see anything in here about making up fake stories about her, do you? They're not trying to say she did anything that she didn't actually do or say. This is a service that people in this line of work offer. It's the name of the game these days. You have to know how to play the internet. And it's very clear which side of this does not know how to play the internet. Work to remove links that are harmful to Wayfarer, Justin, and the narrative alongside the appropriate teams. Properly and strategically monitor damaging Reddit, subreddits, X, Discord, etc. and manage the narrative. Taking down full Reddit and all social accounts as needed, organically engaging with audiences in the right way, starting threads with theories the team approves of, and asking questions that no longer place Wayfarer and Justin on the back foot, changing the overall narrative and helping keep it on track. The social team are now worried about Blake activating the Taylor Swift fan base, which is a major concern. With this in mind, and to ensure Justin and the studio are 100% protected moving forward, they have now changed the fee to $30,000 per month due to the uptick in social chatter. As we know, the Taylor Swift thing didn't ultimately work out for Blake. She fucked that up tremendously all by herself. This is another document that came out yesterday, and it's just showing how these people were reacting with each other in real time as Blake imploded all on her own. They didn't have to do anything. They're just looking at things that content creators have made. Like here's Zach Peter. Chad Wallace here says, I love me some Zach Peter. And it's just showing how they're like monitoring social media. A nice breakdown here. I hope everyone's having a beautiful family night. And then they have a link to one of Leanne's threads there. The forensic guys put it all in the reports, but some I just enjoy more than others. And then you can see they're saying, thanks for keeping track of all this, Jed. They're not doing it. They're just monitoring it. And then Justin is just like, oh my lord. They're mentioning Melanie King's magical sleuthing in here. We are in a whole new media landscape. It's awesome. So they don't have to fucking do anything. Blake blew herself up. Justin says, this is actually funny. You can see her lying in the moment. We got our friend Elsie in here. We got Mandy in here. And Jed says this is the exact same playbook. They're out here mass bot reporting, remember, because they were trying to get accounts taken down. And I've clicked on these links, and it's just talking about how they're changing the story or like showing her past behavior and stuff like that. Here they're looking at Twitter posts and shit that are showing how mainstream media articles had changed. How it's not ethical, but it's technically legal. Here, Jen Abel says, I'm going to have them change the part about the 30-point document. That's a new ad as well. They said that you all signed off on the 30-point document and that as spokesperson for Lively says that because of the no more language that you admit culpability. Justin says, Jen, as you know, that's completely false. Justin also said, we're watching in real time how Ari Emanuel covers his tracks. Mitra Ahurian says, who's now one of his lawyers, says, lie after lie after lie. If we weren't seeing it ourselves, it would sound like one of those crazy conspiracy theories. Guys, there's no smear campaign. None of this was evidence of a smear campaign. This is just embarrassing. She's now watching the people who thought they were going to have to combat the narrative just watch her blow herself up in real time. I mean, it's not real time right now, but you can see the timestamps on when that was all happening. And it was shortly after her amended complaint came out. So like I said, we'll have more of an in-depth conversation this afternoon with Donna, and we'll go over some of this some more then. But thanks for listening. I will see you guys soon.